Hello and welcome to Ketrick Builds. We're back with another episode of Satisfactory, and we have done just a few things off camera since the previous episode. The first thing that we've done here is I have set up an assembler for modular frames, and that's because we need a whole lot of modular frames here for some of our Tech 4 unlocks, and we've just taken the two reinforced iron plate assemblers here that we have, and we're feeding them into here. We're creating way more iron plates than we can use with a single modular frame assembler, which is fine because I need a lot of these for upgraded belts and different things. We've still got our rotors getting made over here though, because we do need quite a few of those for some of the upgrades we're going to unlock here as well. And what else have we done? We picked up a hard drive at the end of the last episode, and I meant to toss that in here and get it cranking before the episode, and I completely forgot about it, so I'll get that started. That's going to take about 10 minutes, and I also have a few upgrades here that I think we can unlock, but we just started the research on the hard drive, so we can't do these just yet. We'll come back and get these going here shortly. I'm going to have everything we need, though, to get into the rebar gun, which I think is going to be useful for some of these aliens we've got running about. So today's episode, though, we are planning on unlocking the Phase 4 objectives and all of the, Tier 4 milestones. All of the Tier 4 milestones are going to start requiring the different steel components here, as you can see. Every single one of them requires some form of a steel component. I've put most of the other resources that we're already creating into these milestones, and I really want to focus on getting the blueprints unlocked, because the blueprint designer for me is one of the new features that came out a while ago. I haven't gotten to play with this at all, and we are going to focus on creating factories that are modular and leverage blueprints in the rest of this series. So today is going to be the start of starting to build what I'll call more proper factories. Now, to start off with, we need steel, and I know where we want to go to get steel, so we're going to build a tractor here, and this is going to let me drive around, get from place A to place B a little bit faster, as we're going to have to start branching out and going places to get there. I'm going to grab a stack of this biofuel. Should be enough to get us going. We're not really using biofuel burners for anything anymore, so all of this fuel will be for our vehicles in the immediate future. You can see I've actually tore down all the biofuel burners we had over here on the other side of the base. We're starting to clean up this area, get rid of the stuff that we don't need anymore, so that we can hopefully build out a proper base setup here for our iron and copper supplies. And I'm just going to keep grabbing the biofuel we are making as we can. Drop off the remaining leaves that we've got in our inventory. No sense carrying all this stuff around. And before we go driving off into the distance to set up a new base, it always pays to plan ahead a little bit. Now, I don't actually remember how many mining nodes and such there are over there. I'm going to just start with carrying the materials for 4 miners just in case. We won't need this many. In fact, I'm going to dial that down to 3. If I need more than 3, I'm going to be shocked, and we're going to need smelters in order to make the iron. I'm going to put 4 of them in there, and then from there I'm going to put at least 2 constructors, one for each type of the material we need. We're going to expand this, but because I don't remember the recipes off the top of my head, and I don't feel like using a third-party resource, there's some great websites and stuff out there for letting you plan your factories ahead of time. We're going to be getting into that as we get into the more advanced builds, but for today, we're still in a fairly early part of the game, so I'm just going to make sure I've got all the materials for a basic setup here in my inventory. And of course, we can't forget that we're going to need a couple storage containers. Again, we've got everything we need except the portable miners, so we'll go ahead and grab those real quick. Now I'm going to hop in our little tractor here. I love this thing. This has been one of my favorite items that a game like this has added, because we don't even get inside of it. We're just on the back hanging on. It's so cool. Now, if I remember right, we've already kind of looked at where I want to build this steel factory, and it's just down this road. Whoa, we get some air with this thing. and we'll be able to kind of circle around and get across the water there. I could go down the way that we built our coal mining facility here for the power grid. I think that's right over here. Now, we'll try it this time. If I go down that road there, there's a bridge I can go across, like a built-into-the-map land bridge we can take. But I'm kind of curious to see if we left ourselves enough space, I can sneak down here while this hill is intense. We gotta watch the bouncing and bobbing here. I don't want to go flying off of the side of this thing. Now, this is where I find out, if I remember right, a tractor will fit on a single wide platform. I can't imagine creating an automated course on the terrain that we've got there, but I can drive across this, and as you can see, we can get right over here. We did expand the power here a bit. We added some additional water pumps and a few more of the coal generators. They all seem to be running at max efficiency there. It's working out great for us, so we were able to tear down all of those biofuel generators, biofuel burners. And this is where I want to go for coal. It does look like there's only 2 coal nodes here. I grabbed a 4th portable miner just in case. Now I see that we've got a bunch of these hogs here we're gonna have to take care of. And then if I'm not mistaken, up on top of this hill is where there's iron. So we're gonna head up there real quick and just make sure I remember where everything is here. And we've also got these things. I think these things are fruit that I'm going to be able to heal myself with.
This is one of multiple edibles we have detected in your vicinity, which are within approved nutritional and medical categories as established by R&D. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
Well, there you go. I'm going to get the trusty sword out here. It looks like we've got some of these bug mounds and an iron node up here. We're going to charge into this as fast as I can. I think we got the bugs too. We're gonna hit the other one as well. That was painful. I'm sure I could have drawn them out and then killed the bugs and then killed the thing and done that a lot better, but we're all right. We managed through, and we'll start healing here in a second. So I'm gonna open up this iron node, and we're gonna get a miner set up here so that we can bring that iron down to the area below us here. And this is going to be our steel processing facility right over here. We're going to just do it all right in this area. I'm going to build some foundations. We'll set up a little factory. It's going to be good times. But in order to do that, we've got to first get our miner set up here. So we've got miner Mark 1s. We are going to unlock the Mark 2s here shortly. I'm just trying to remember, where do I want to bring this out? Probably right over here to the side of the coal. So I think this is probably the best place for this. And if I remember right, this is going to bring out 120 a minute. So we will push a number 3 here, and then I think it's E. I can switch between tiers. We can bring conveyor belt Mark 2 right on over here to the edge. And I'm going to just raise this up a little bit so that it kind of comes straight out here. Perfect. And then, yeah, I don't know. We might have to go down there and get the factory started, but at least I've got the belt now up in an area that's visible, and we can bring that down. All right, we're down here. We're gonna get out of that, get our trusty sword going here, and let's see if this thing can come running towards me. So much easier to kill these guys with the sword than it was that little poker thing we had at the start of the game. Here it comes. Oh, I missed the second swing. It's always easier if you can get them the first time around. We're gonna get all these hog remains too, because we can use them back at the base for some of this alien stuff that we can eventually make healing and items and whatnot with. Oops, we did not do that well at all. Oh well. We're brute forcing our way through combat. If you watch my Return to Moria series, that's kind of my style. All right, let's see. I've got, I hate when it's dark out in games. I wish that it was just daytime all the time. Let me just set these up right out of the gate here. We'll get both of these coal nodes going. And what we're going to need is to run... Oh, I got the wrong items. I wasn't paying attention here, folks. Hopefully I've got the materials. We need foundries in order to make the steel. Looks like I've got one hog still here. Oh, he's angry. Don't get hit again. Oh, we got him. I suppose I could put this in my hand and eat one or two of these. I don't want to eat a lot of them. I want to use them for research. Now, we do happen to have the resources for these foundries, and what the foundry is going to do, and we'll just toss one down here so we can look at it real quick, is allow us to make steel ingots. And steel ingots is going to require 45 iron and 45 coal to get brought into here to generate this. And I think... if we look here, these are not as good as the iron up above. These are only 60 per minute, and that means that we do need these two to pair up with that one iron node, and we'll be able to generate all kinds of steel. So let me go ahead and get rid of this, and what we're going to do is actually put down some foundations for this factory, and we're going to see if we can get everything set up here in a reasonable way. Now, if I hold control down, I can snap this to kind of the same direction as the, I don't know if it, what you call it, the world grid. You'll notice that it's at a pretty weird angle compared to what we've got here with our miners and stuff. So I don't think we're going to actually do that. I don't see any need to have everything snapped to the same angle right now. I don't know. Part of me says I should keep it all at the same angle, because then if I do build roads and other things and want to make things look nice and fancy, it'll be good if every factory we build starts off on this same orientation. So we're going to do that just because we do have the power over here and everything. It's going to work out the best if we do that. So let's do it. And I'm going to use these big 4-meter foundations because the ground is a little bit uneven here. And this will let me kind of fill that in. We can always build some ramps after the fact. It's looking good. And at some point, we're going to build a truck station here as well. So let me go ahead and get the foundry back out. I want to see how big this foundry is going to be and how much room I'm going to need to run things into it. It looks like a foundry is just wider than a platform. That's all right. I'm going to leave a full platform back here behind us to have enough room to run both the coal and the iron into this. I'm not going to worry about building walls and such onto this factory just yet. There's a new item I'm sure Ada's going to talk to me about. Maybe, maybe not. We're not going to worry about building walls and stuff onto this factory yet, though, because I want to make sure that we can have all the upgrades and stuff that we need to make that look and work nice. We're just going to worry about making an open face factory. So let me get my chainsaw back out. I'm going to clear this vegetation out. And we'll be right back.
The mycelia within this fungus suggests strong molecular bonding features frequently observed in adhesives and medicine, both beneficial for field research. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
Well, there you go. We got mushrooms. All right, I have gone ahead and just laid down a bunch of platforms here, so we should have enough room to create all the stuff that we need. And I went ahead and moved the miners, and we put down some platforms so that everything looks kind of nice and neat here. I guess I don't need these platforms over here. We'll get rid of those real quick. And as you can see, we've got these laid out so that they match up with the angles we've got on everything. And here I'm going to be running a merger between these two coals. We're going to pipe everything into a single line here for simplicity. And if we just move this around here a little bit. I was hoping, there we go. I was hoping for the green line on both. I'm pretty sure that's lined up though. We'll double check. Is that? That is not lined up. Or is it? Oh, it is not lined up. Apparently I can't put this merger in a place where it'll be perfectly lined up. I don't know what's going on. Oh well, we'll just run with it for now. Both of these miners are only going to be bringing in 60 coal per minute, and if we merge those into this single merger, we will then be able to run a 120 line out of it, which will be perfect. And then up here, we need to be able to run a elevator down. So let me find a good spot to do that. I'm going to put in, I think, one more platform right here, and we will run our iron down from above right here. And oops, that needs to go the other way. How do I get it to go the other way? There we go. You can push R to build it in the reversed mode. And I'll back up here a little bit. I'm hoping to be able to see if I've got this at approximately the right height from down here. We'll do that. And then we can run our belt right into this. It's going to look a little janky for the time being. Oh, that's okay. We are just trying to get this factory up and running as fast as possible. And now we can run our foundries. And at 45 cubic meters per, this is going to generate, I'm going to do 3 of these. 1, 2, and 3. Eventually, as I get Mark II miners and stuff, we'll be able to do this more efficiently. However, the recipe for steel ingots requires 45 iron and coal. We're going to generate 120, so we'll be able to underclock one of these a little bit for the time being to save on power and get a whole lot of steel going on. And so to get this to work, we're going to need a few things. The first thing we're going to need is some splitters. And I'm going to go ahead and get all of these set up. We're going to run one splitter here on each of these. I'm trying to make sure I'm lining stuff up correctly. I'm going to run them back here for a reason that will become hopefully obvious in a second here. And I'm going to run 2 of them. And my intention here is if I stack these on top of each other, I'll run both resources down the same line to make it easier to just kind of hook things up, and then we'll have enough space available to us in order to run something into each of the machines and have everything just kind of look uniform. Now we're going to be running 120 iron down this. I think maybe we'll start doing this in a way that looks nice. If you put them in the right position, you can get these perfect 90-degree turns, which I kind of like. So we'll do that, and we're going to run the coal over here in the same way. So if I... How do I turn a belt again? It's been a minute since we've played here. I want to turn with the mouse like this. And we're going to get that going this way. I'm going to bring this up to the appropriate height, and then I should be able to just U-turn that right into here. However, it looks like I did something wrong because these belts... Oh, nope, they go the other way underneath. That makes total sense. All right, perfect. Now let me keep moving here. We'll pull the belt all the way down the line. And then I can take a 60 cubic meter belt in from here. Oh, not what I wanted to do. Or is it? I think it is. And if I bring the top belt down, it'll move in there perfectly. So we'll just hook all these up real quick. And then, of course, the most important part of a new setup is getting the power infrastructure running. So I'm going to go ahead and run the power for both of these miners to this pole here. and then I'll run this power. I'll put it right over here on the corner of this for now. And then I'm gonna run it all the way up to the front of our factory. And then similarly, I can grab each of these. I think the power for these is on the back corner. Yep, so we'll put the poles back here somewhere. I'll put a pole here. And then we'll run another pole over to the other side. I do like just spacing my poles out so that I can have a lot of options here. And I got new points to hook power lines up to if I need them. It's not the most efficient way to run the power poles all the time, but it does work for my style of play, which is not always thinking things out 100% before we do them. And up here on the top, I'm hoping I can grab the power. Oh, I just had it. There we go. We can grab the power, and I'm going to put it part of the way. We're going to go up there. I'm going to put a pole up on the edge, and then we'll bring the power down. All right, we're up here. We're going to grab the power line, and I'm going to just bring this right to the edge like so. And then I can run this down here to the power that the other miners are all hooked up to, just for consistency. I've got belts all up and running here. We just need to hook the power up, and we're going to start making steel. Awesome. So the other reason that I kind of like putting this early game steel right here is that it's right next to where I like to build my early game power station, which is right over here. And that makes it pretty easy to get your power infrastructure going. You don't have to do a lot to keep things moving. I think I hear a hog behind me, so we might have some combat here in a second. Nope, nobody there. And there we go. We've got power hooked up, and it should have these miners going. I can see the green lights up here already. I feel like early game, it's a lot about just power management is so critical. And I mean, power management will probably be critical through most of the game. However, for us, what we want to do is keep everything going without continually running out of power. And I'm going to put a ramp right here. I've got the other build mode on. And we are going to put a truck station in here to haul this steel off somewhere in a little bit. But before I get to that, let's see here. The iron ore and coal haven't quite made their way into this one yet. It's coming now. Let's go see why we don't have anything coming here yet. It's just got a little bit farther to go. And I forgot to upgrade this one to a Mark II, so let's do that now. That should get things going faster. The belts are all Mark II down here. Just making sure. Looking good. And these are starting to fill up and go, which is great. I'm going to put a little bit of the materials we had in the inventory on, though. And then this last one, we want to dial down a little bit. So since the first two are already running at 45 per minute, this one is only going to run at 30 per minute. So let's see what happens if we underclock this down to 30 per minute. I might have to get in here and do one of these where I do .66666. Perfect. So now that this is taking 30 per minute, these two are taking 45. That'll be a perfect 120, and these should operate at their peak efficiency without using any unnecessary power. And we're already stacking up the steel ingots here. Normally, I like to run all of our steel products, or all the steel ingots, to the main base and create our steel products closer to where we're using them. However, for today's episode, we're not quite there yet. And that means what we're going to do is take the steel products we have right now, and we're going to pump these right into constructors, and we're going to make something else out of them right here on site, and then I will take those back to the base using our handy truck. So let me get these going. Use our handy snap to features. Nope, that is not lined up at all, folks. Okay, this one is lined up. We'll get that going. And here we're going to start this one off with steel beams, because I need the steel beams in order to get our blueprints going. So we'll go ahead and get a power line set up here, and we'll hook that power line up to the other power line. And that will hopefully, get this constructor going. And then let's just do that a few more times. If I can come in here and copy settings, I can then build a constructor. And I think it might use the settings. I can't remember how this works. I am going to stand right here and just line these up manually because I don't think the snap tool's doing quite what I want it to do. There we go. And then I'll just pipe our materials in real quick. We'll run the power to these real quick. And then I can somehow paste settings. I have to actually Control V. Okay. And then this one's actually going to make the steel pipes instead of the steel ingots. And this is going to allow me to kind of get both things moving here. Oh, no, I want to do this differently. We're going to switch this. I'm going to have this one do steel pipes. And then I'm going to have this one make more steel beams. This is our secondary one. But I'm going to slow this one down to only use the... How many are we outputting here? 30 a minute? I'm going to slow this down to only consume the 30 per minute, which is going to be at a 50% clock speed. And as you can see here, these are using 30 per minute already, and we're generating 45 per minute. So actually I could set up a much more convenient thing here. Steel beams is using 60 per minute and only outputting 15. We're completely mucking this up right now. That's all right. What's 45 per minute gonna be? Let's try 75% is gonna use up the 45. Perfect. That'll save us some power. And look at all these steel beams already. We're already at 41 steel beams just doing this. This one is less efficient. We could be running our 45 a minute into 1.5 constructors. This is just a mess, folks. But like I said, we're just trying to get enough of these materials right now to be able to make things for the factories back at the base. And what I want to do next is set up a truck station while those are cranking out our early materials here. And these truck stations are absolutely huge. Oh, and we're out of rotors. I must have used up more rotors than I thought here on some other stuff. Oh, that's all right. Okay, so what we're going to do then, in this case, is we're going to get some more ramps built so I can get a truck up and down here. And I'll just build a few of them. That should give me plenty of a good spot to come up here with. And I'm going to probably need to build some ramps to get up on the back of this as well. So let's go ahead and get the truck up here. I won't need this ramp on the back after we get going. I don't envision needing to drive through this at all. Jumped right over that ramp. There we are. So I'm going to grab these supplies that we've built so far. It's not enough to get the milestones going, but we're going to take the truck back up to base real quick. And we're going to grab the stuff necessary to make a truck station here so that we can eventually set up some automation to drive the truck back and forth for us and bring these steel components back to the base. Now I'm looking around here. I'm trying to figure out, where our land bridge is back over to the main base. I can't remember. Oh, there it is. It's right up here. Perfect. And then this little road pretty much leads right back by the side of our base. So this is a quick and easy way to get over there. A lot easier than trying to go down that crazy hill by the coal mining setup for our power station. That bridge was more there just so that I could run back and forth when I'm on foot trying to hook the power up and stuff. Now we're coming up here to the top of this hill. I think actually if I go up here, I can sneak into the other side of our base. Yeah, right here. Easy peasy. Now, we've got such a spaghetti mess of factory here, I can't actually get through. It would have probably been a better idea to go to the other side of the entrance. We'll do that. Ooh, what are we missing here to keep these machines running? These are iron plates, okay. I don't know how many iron plates I have. 51, not enough to matter, so I'll toss those in there for the moment. So we're back up here at the base. We've got to do a few things. Let's first off get this MAM recipe going. What did we unlock? We unlocked wet concrete. I don't know if that's useful. We've got pure iron ingot, which is going to let me put water in to get more out of our iron. That could be very useful at some point. And then we've got iron wire. That's an interesting recipe, so I wouldn't necessarily need copper then. I could just use iron for everything. Ooh, this is intriguing. I don't really want to have to run water to places right now. I think I'm going to pick up iron wire, and we'll go with that. And as long as we're in here, let's come in here. I've got some quartz. We can unlock silica, which is eventually going to unlock these blade runners, which will help us move around faster. I always appreciate those. And what else does it unlock? All right, we don't have enough of that. We don't have enough of that. We've only got one pale berry, unfortunate. We've got enough of this stuff. Bacon mushrooms. We've got enough to do this. I don't know what that is. Nutritional processor. Okay, well, let me get the barrel nut research going. We'll just need more stuff down here to get those going. All right, it's making progress. Let's get the mycelia research started. We're gonna need a lot more of that for all of these. Alien organisms research. We still haven't found any spitters. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Let's go ahead and unlock structural analysis. And we just need a few more rotors for this and some screws. I bet you we've got those. Let's go check. We're going to grab the screws and the rotors. Perfect. And I know our other machine is actually out of iron plates, so I'm going to hop on back here to the back side of our factory. We're going to grab some more of these components just to keep our other stuff moving. We'll take as many iron plates as we can hold. And yeah, you can see all these parts of the factory are just hung up and stopped right now because we don't have any iron plates over here. Boom, we'll do that. I'll keep a few in my inventory. Luckily, we've got some modular frames being made here. I'll grab some more. We need another stack of those to get our objective unlocked. And then we're all the way back over here. I wanted to grab this research for the rebar gun. That will be very useful to us at some point, fighting off some of these big bad creatures. And eventually we'll have enough steel to handle that. Alright, we're getting places. We just need more of the steel to start moving our progress forward. Can I make one of these rebar guns? What do we need for that? What's missing? Screws. Oh, okay, I can make screws. And iron rebar makes these rods. Okay, well, let's just make some ammunition here. I don't know how big of a stack these can be in, but we'll make maybe 50 of them. I figure if I take 50 shots at something, I'm going to be in a pretty good spot. Okay, 53. Sounds good. Grab a stack of screws. Here we go. One genuine rebar bar. Rebar gun. There we go. Reload. Oh, it's one shot at a time. Perfect. That will not get me into any trouble later on. I'm sure of it. Let's see. I'm going to put this stuff that we don't need off of the bat into the chest. Just keep the inventory cleaned up here. Looking good. Oh, let's keep the leaves. We're going to put the leaves in the wood back into this. Select recipe, biomass wood. This is our leaves pile. And let's make sure we keep it grabbing the biofuel and keeping the machines running. All this biofuel, for the time being at least, is going to continue to power things like our chainsaw and our vehicles. I'll keep one stack on me. All right, we have enough materials to build the truck station that we were looking to build before, so we're going to take that and run with it. We'll get back out here and we're going to go optimize this steel factory now to be set up a little bit better to bring back these materials that we need. So we're back down here where we've been running this stuff, and the very first thing we're going to do is get a truck station placed, because this is going to help me determine where we build some of the rest of this stuff. And I think my goal is to center the truck station on this platform right here and bring it right up to the front of our ramp. That is going to be more than enough space for us to come up here and do kind of a U and come back down when we do get around to automating this. Let me get rid of some of these bushes that we missed last time. And the reason I'm placing this down like this right now is because we want to be able to bring a bunch of stuff into this. Now I have a few different inputs into the docking station, and this is going to be set up to load a vehicle to start out with. And the different things here are fuel, and then I believe I have inputs and outputs. So these are outputs if I wanted to bring something here and output it. I don't really want to do that. We're bringing materials in, and this is what we could use for fuel. Now I'm just going to put this stack of fuel in here. That's going to help us out. We're probably not going to store fuel out on the edges out here. I'm just going to drop this one in here so that it's kind of there and going for the time being. What we'd normally do is generate our fuel back towards the base where I've got storage and things, and then every time they go back to a truck station at the base, they get refueled, and then out here we just won't worry about it. But having fuel piped into here will allow the truck to refuel every time it comes into the docking station, which will be cool. Now, this thing has a large inventory, so I'm going to be putting 2 materials in here. Normally for truck stations, I only like to move 1 material at a time, and so in the future, we may end up with 2 truck stations here, 1 for each type of material. Or no, I take that back. In the future, this is just going to make the ingots, and we're going to build all the items somewhere else. But for the short term, what we're going to do is actually create the items right here, because I don't have a lot of space just yet. And in order to do that, we're going to put down a few more foundations, and I'm going to move our constructors back here. Trying to think of the most efficient way to put these foundations down. I love this new Zook mode that they added a while ago. They added this quite some time ago, but it's been awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and disconnect all of these constructors. We're going to move them. Oops. What is it? Is it control to do multiple destructs at once? There we go. And what I want to do is, instead of that, we're going to put a merger in here. Really, guy, can't you see that I'm building here? And I'm going to put these mergers right out in front of our foundries. And what that should let me do is bring all 120 of these steel ingots out here into a single line. And if we bring Mark II belts for the second half of this, I'll have 120 steel ingots coming out of here. To start with, what I'm going to do is bring them this way, and we're going to do all of our construction back here behind the truck station. And this is going to let me set up a more appropriate amount of these constructors and be a little bit more efficient, and then pipe them into the truck station. So if we bring these out, I should be able to do something like 2 constructors for steel pipes, because steel pipes are only going to take 30 a minute. That'll use up 60 a minute of the steel that we're going to have coming in here. And then I'm going to come over here and we're going to put down 2 more constructors. And these two constructors are going to be making the steel beams. Now the first one here, oh no, this is going to take 60 a minute. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And that'll use up all 120 of our materials here. So let me get a splitter going here and make sure that it's facing the right way. And I don't know why my control thing doesn't show the green line on these constructors sometimes. But this way I can get everything moving. That'll be 60 a minute. This needs to be a Mark II belt. And then this is going to come feed right into here. Like so. Alright, we're getting there. One more setup step is to get our power infrastructure configured. So I will bring this pole right over to here, and then I will connect it over to this pole, and just like that I've got all three of these constructors now constructing at max efficiency. We've got 30 being used up here, I've got 30 being used up here, and I've got 60 being used up here. Perfect. Last step is to bring a merger over here. Now I've got this right here. I'm going to merge all of these into a line. And it should be fine. I don't foresee any major problems with a mixed material line coming into this merger. We will need a Mark II to bring it into the truck stop though. And this is going to be 15 a minute, 20 a minute, and 20 a minute. I don't even need a Mark II for this belt, but that's okay. We're going to do it. And this thing has no power, so it's not accepting items yet. Let's go ahead and bring the power over to the truck station. And there you go. As you can see, we're finally stacking things up. I am running the Mark II there. I don't need it. Whatever. We did it. It's done. It'll help me unload things faster if I end up backing this up and we need to unfill full capacities on other machines. I love seeing all of this stuff run. And the other reason that I'm doing it like this for right now is I've got the space, but when we do eventually want to get rid of the steel component construction here, all I have to do is pipe this right into the truck station and we're done. Because what I like about these little outposts like this is that we've only got one material at a time being built that we're bringing back to the base for construction somewhere else. And what I can do now that we've got this up and running is just drive the truck under here and then push F to load cargo into tractor. Boom. I think he's all done. Let me go in here. I want to clear my to-do list real quick. I don't think we need the truck station or these storage containers in here anymore. And if I just look in my workbench, you can see now I've got all of the steel components in here. I'm going to put those back in like so. And we'll come over here. I'm just going to dump this steel out of my inventory into these benches. See if we can keep the machines running at max efficiency here. Just like so. Dump that steel off. Alright, I think we're good. We'll load the tractor one more time. And off we go. You can see it filled up my fuel as well. I am not going to record a path just yet. I'm not quite ready for that part of the adventure. We got a lot of bushes and things in the way here. See, it's going to get hung up and stuck on that if we drive into it. So I'm going to have to figure out how to clear this stuff and create a platform. And oh my goodness, all these creatures are causing problems. If I'm not mistaken, as long as you're not near the truck, it doesn't collide with as much stuff. I can't remember how that all works, but I know they've got some pretty cool logic that when you're not immediately near vehicles, they can just clip through things and generally not have problems like this. What are we crashed on? Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Hog. My bad. Got a little personal there. So with that, let's go ahead and see if we can get back to the base and finally unlock our first tier 4 components. And here we are. Open this up. I didn't even bother looking to see how many we had, but hopefully it's enough here. Get some more modular frames. We're getting close. I don't have 100 modular frames yet. That's going to be a small problem here for us. That's okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the hub and see what we do have enough resources for. Maybe we've got enough for something else. I could get advanced steel. Expanded power infrastructure looks cool. We need more modular frames for that. Although I guess I could go ahead and start dumping steel beams into a few things. Hypertubes is the doohickeys here. Perfect. I guess I should have looked to see. Oh, we should have got Logistics Mark III before we did that one. Alrighty. Well, that's okay. We're going to need to make a run back and get a few more materials here anyway. We'll have most of these before long. And yeah, we're almost there on this one too. So really, we're at this point where I just need just a little bit more resources. The factory's running and making stuff, and we'll have everything we need to unlock all of these. Well, I guess what I'll do while we wait for these frames to build is I'll just make another run back over there and we'll pick up another load of steel. I don't need that much. We almost completely finished all of these off. The only thing I'll need is this encased industrial beams to finish off hypertubes, which we've really got to unlock advanced steel production for first. That's not going to be too bad at all. Let me put these rotors in here. We've finished off rotors now as well. Perfect. All right, I'll go grab some steel and we'll be right back. This is just going to be so easy compared to having to run over and get things out of machines and stuff. All we have to do is drive right up here with our truck, if I can actually drive, and push F to load up our cargo. It's like that easy. If I did want to check to see how much we got, oops, is it that easy? What did we do? Oh, it helps when you stay in the zone. Just push F to load us up. Drops the crate in. The animation is not necessary. The little bar in the bottom right that flashed by was all we really needed. But if we jump out here, you can just see we've got a bunch of materials here already. More than 200 of these steel pipes. We left this on advanced steel production. I forget how many of the steel beams we needed, but I think this is going to be enough to really get us going. I can even grab these while I'm here. They're just coming in so fast. It's so nice. And we'll get back up to the base and get these things launched up to space with our hub. And man, we're going to be almost all the way through Tier 4 by the end of the episode here. We're driving by, and I can hear the noise from the power slug. Look at that, right up there. Let's go ahead and deal with this. Let's try out our new rebar gun. Okay, he didn't die. Where is he at? Waiting for him to come charging at me from out of the bushes there. Oh well. Let's see if I can hop up here and get us a power slug. Oh, there he is. 2 shots puts him down. I like it. Now, I think all of these are designed to technically, oh, we fell off, be able to be gotten to without having to build structures. I know building structures is the easy way to do it, but let's see if we can do it the way the game developers intended. I like it. Blue power slug. This will be one of our first power slugs that we won't have to research. We can finally start building the cool power shards. We might as well grab our whatchamajigger, though. Where did that hog go? We just killed him. He wasn't this far away, was he? We lost him. This thing's got okay headlights, I suppose. They're not great. That's alright. It's starting to become light out here again. I'm going to go ahead and come over to the bench here. I'm just going to make that power shard while I'm thinking of it. No sense holding on to a slug. Now jump in here. I'm gonna put in... Where'd our steel go? Oh, we forgot to get our materials out of the truck, folks. Oh, how it's like idling. All right. We'll put that stuff in there. I'm not gonna send it just yet. I think I've got enough materials to do the other ones here. Not quite. We're 4 short. Can you believe that? 4 short. That's okay. We can always run back one more time. We'll drop these in there. Power infrastructure is going to require some more of these frames as well. Okay, well, let's go ahead and launch the ones we've got. We've got this one, which is advanced power, or advanced steel.
Milestone reached. Logistics can be improved with a larger storage container, enhanced conveyor belt efficiency, as well as the ability to store excess power for later use. An additional project part can now be constructed. Further progress to the next phase is now possible. Milestone reached. Logistics can be improved with a larger storage container and enhanced conveyor belt efficiency.
All right, well, there we go. We've got half of the milestones unlocked, and we came up just a couple of modular frames short as well. So we're going to just run back one more time, get the necessary steel components, and then we'll be right back to knock out the last of our milestones that we have unlocked right now, and we'll worry about those encased iron beams. What are they? Encased steel beams, maybe? In the next episode. I think that's going to be the plan. We'll get the rest of that wrapped up and get into building a factory. That's my thought. That's my thought. And we're back again. Let's go ahead and get all of our stuff out here. I wish there was a take all button here. That's all right. We'll run over here and get these milestones worked out. I'm gonna need a lot more of these modular frames. Oh, and our pod isn't even back yet. It's not back for an hour and 15 minutes. Oh no, a minute and 15 seconds. I was like, an hour. Oh my goodness. That's okay. We've just now got to the 50 modular frames necessary for the other blueprint. That's great. Let's pick up our excess fuel and rotors. Keep all of the machines going here. Looking good, looking good. I believe our thing is finally back, and we have the 50 modular frames necessary into those steel beams. Let me do those, and just before we hit the button, I'm gonna check if we're gonna have enough for this. We are not. We're gonna need another 60 something. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and get the blueprints unlocked, because I'm super excited to play around with these. Let's launch it. See what they've got to say. Not much, apparently. I was expecting a whole whatchamajig about these blueprints, but nothing of note here. Unfortunate. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here today, folks. We made huge progress, and honestly, we've got everything unlocked to finish the rest of Tier 4. We'll do that next episode, and we're going to be focusing on these blueprints. This has been our last episode, I think, of dealing with this factory. The point of next episode is going to be picking a new factory location, setting up this blueprint thing, and figuring out how we're going to start mass producing actual factories in Satisfactory. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. That's all for today. Ketterk out.